Lindenhurst is a village of 27,000 on the south shore of Long Island, New York. These are the people who grew up there and their stories. Everyone I know is from Lindenhurst.
A lot of chip eating here. A lot of chip eating, a lot of water drinking.
Wouldn't be a Hugo episode without you talking with your mouth full.
Did I do that in the last one?
Probably.
At all?
Yes.
At the very beginning.
It's like, I
Sounds
fucking
about
knew
right.
it.
Well, at least
I
you're
knew it.
consistent, you know? I mean,
What kind of chips are we talking about here?
plantain of the plantain.
Okay.
variety.
Nice.
Very salty. Very salty. Very nice.
You made those yourself?
No, I did not.
Well, we can lie and say you did.
Fine. Edit that part out. I made them from the tears of a dying bear.
All right, so we're here. So we welcome back our very first guest
Returning champ.
and our very first returning guest, Hugo. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
And for the first time, but not the last, Joe
Yay.
Ciatto.
How are you?
So before we get going today, Joe, just give us like a little cliff notes on your roots in Lindenhurst and what got you into music and your career today.
Hanging out with weirdos like you guys definitely got me into music, as well as being a big band nerd in the Lindenhurst High School. Was always all about that life, I guess you could say. And then discovering punk and hardcore was like definitely something new yet familiar all at the same time, which didn't necessarily lead me to my career, but definitely helped shape it with cooking and doing restaurants and helping people out, and just, you know, taking my talents and inspiration through music and putting it through something that could pay my bills and feed some tummies, you know?
Yeah. And we were technically neighbors growing up. You grew up around the block from me.
Indeed. We
Yeah.
grew up right around each other. I annoyed my way into your life through music and drumming. So
Yep.
definitely got that rhythmic bond going. And that was totally what, you know, same thing led us with the, with the punk and hardcore connection, especially with this comp kind of being like a gateway, like, you know, previous guest, Mr. Derek Sherman, shout out to Sherman,
Yeah.
talking about like, you know, like the riffs and like the intro to things, and how that was like kind of like the blueprint of what like we became to know what, you know, like this was, you know. And there's totally so many like anthematic riffs on this comp that are totally like what he was talking about. So it's kind of funny how this is very like full circle, a bunch of Lindenhurst dudes talking the same shit, you know?
Yeah. So we have gathered here to talk about a very important collection of music from our youth. This is the 516 Long Island Hardcore Compilation.
In all its glory.
Released in 1996 when all of Long Island was 516.
Right. I was going to ask. I meant to look it up. Do you know when that changed?
Had to be
I
late
would
90s.
say like shortly after. It was only a couple of years, because I had like an AOL screen name that had 516 at the end of it, and I remember like a year or two later, it was like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty soon after. Maybe 97, maybe 98,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I can remember being like junior high.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Released
Later
on-
in life,
yeah.
I was going to say later, there was actually a 631 comp released on
It was.
Rick Jimenez's Pride Records.
Yes.
Which I think, Hugo, did you have a song on that?
I don't think so.
No.
Did I? I don't.
No, I think the Reformation was on it, maybe not Last Pick the Dodgeball with, you know what I mean?
Correct. I think that's.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Heads versus Breakers were on it.
Previous,
But yeah, back to 516, released on None of the Above Records out of Center Reach, which was also a store.
Yep.
In addition to a record label. And they released a bunch of stuff. I have the Discogs up here. A few Killer Idols releases, Justice Unknown, Cleanser, Tension, a lot of Terminal Sect.
Okay.
Yeah.
The best kind of sect.
So before we get into the songs, let's talk about this layout and design. Incredibly 90s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Multiple
it's like-
fonts, graffiti, you know, loud colors. I mean, it might as well be wearing a fucking pair of Jenkos. Like,
it's definitely like, you know, the computers are here now. We can do this at home. We don't have to hire somebody kind of deal. which
Yeah,
is
so
absolutely the whole 90s.
I would urge all listening at home to Google this record cover, but I'll describe
Well,
it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll include it in the posts with when we share this episode and stuff like that. But
yeah. So the front cover is the background is a mosh pit of a random show.
a non-edited, non-touched up photo at all, just plain as day, no re fucking anything. Free people having Photoshop on their home computers,
Yep.
Couple of cool people in the background, right? You got Vinnie Corrigan on the background, right? Dubin.
Well, that's on the
I
back
believe
cover with the track
Vinny's
listing.
on the back, right?
Oh, on the back. Yeah.
I think I saw Malamo there too.
Oh, okay.
I believe it is an inside show, right?
It's an inside shot, right?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. The front cover, I don't know. It could be any band. And it says 516, a Long Island Hardcore Compilation, in what I believe is the Stagecoach font.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nice
And-
name drop.
And there's a big 516 in like a graffiti, like wild style burner.
Yeah.
Just mid 90s as can be.
Did Kyle? We were just talking about this. Did Kyle Headcase do that? It said something about art by Kyle, so I think
It says cover artwork by Kyle. Yeah. So
I was
mean,
assuming it was him.
it's got to be.
there's a dedication
There
to
you
him in the
go.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, he's this is our friend Kyle. He's very nice.
Yep. So everything on this comp was recorded in the same place by the same person, Bill Spurl, at ARTI in Hauppauge.
Mhm. Yep.
Everything except, yeah.
I actually recorded there once. Scott Jablow went to school, friend of the pod,
That's the
Scott
school you
Jablow.
can record it, right?
He went to school there and he recorded the first No Funeral demo there, amongst other things as well, completely for free. So I don't know if that place still exists, but it did 20 years ago.
It still exists. I recorded there a
Yeah.
couple years ago.
Wow.
And they haven't updated anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Recording straight to ADATs. That's amazing.
It's like generation 1 of Pro Tools they're still using.
Right.
That's, I mean, I don't know. There's something I really appreciate about that, like time warp straight to the 90s recording situation.
Yes.
Probably like some dusty ass couch that smells like cigarettes. And
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I've spent some time
Oh,
in there. I went when, so Keith from Cleanser used to be a student there as well. I think he might have been a teacher afterwards, but they did the miscellaneous comp, which was a Derek project where it was
Mhm.
Derek and I think it was a just a steady lineup of, I think it was maybe Pete Motive on drums and Derek on guitar and probably
Bunch of
bass
different
too.
vocalists,
And then
right?
just,
That's what it was? Yeah.
everybody.
Joe
Jamie
Rick
Josta's on a
on
song.
there,
Yeah.
right?
Jamie, Rick to Life, Tommy, Daryl, fucking Mike, No Redeeming, everybody's on there. Yeah, even me and my brother are on a track with Doug from Arkham.
I think you have my copy of that comp, Hugo.
Do I really?
I think so, yeah.
Interesting. To take it back real quick to the, we have computers now and can do this shit at home. I made the cover of that record like with Derek in my parents' basement when I was 17 years old. I'm like, if it wasn't MS Paint, it was some other free shit that came with whatever computer we had. Like, I didn't have Photoshop or any idea what the hell I was doing at all. But I did have a computer, and I guess Derek didn't, because he used to come over and have me make, like, I did some shit for Neglect, like, some posthumous release they did, or something he was doing or whatever. And I did the Arkham record, and I definitely did the miscellaneous record in my basement. Yeah,
Real DIY shit,
yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get into the music.
Cool.
First band up is Betrayed. Not much info on this band besides a P.O. box and quorum.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I remember the name. I remember seeing them on flyers and stuff, but I don't remember seeing them.
I also have not seen them. But the first song is called Voices. Let's have a listen. so we'll just play like a minute or so of each.
Cool.
But cool judge-like bass line in the beginning.
Yeah, no, that honestly, that's one of the things that stands out to me is knowing that all of this was recorded at ARTI. That bass sound is fucking great. Like, it just sounds great. It sounds real good.
And it sounds like that studio where they recorded all that stuff. Was it Normandy Sound that they did Judge and Leeway and
I think
all that stuff?
That sounds familiar.
It's reminiscent of that.
Yeah, it's got that same kind of, I don't know. It's a dope bass sound that, you know, just kind of reminds you of the 90s and even into the late 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting with the guitar sound too. Not full on Boss Metal Zone 90s Long Island hardcore. Very like
it's
that.
Not as thick. It's not as crunchy.
Until it kicks into the fast part with the vocals, this could be Guilt. This could be somebody from Louisville in like 93. Like this is, it's interesting how that kind of comes on.
Yeah. This is a band that would fit in with probably like Pain of Truth nowadays.
Well, a lot of these tracks,
a lot of these bands would
are very now reminiscent of everything that's going on. Like this comp in general is like the nostalgia overload for like guys like us. But then you hear all this shit.
Somehow this comp was 30 years early.
Well, yeah,
right on time for its era. Yeah,
we were just talking about one of the last bands on this comp the other day, Vito, I think 3008, to where it was just like, these guys are like the underdogs of this comp. And we'll get to that later. But
we'll get to that later, yeah.
All right, jumping ahead a little bit.
Cool. So the second song by Betrayed is called Setup.
When you turn your back on me, seen the past, but I'll never forget the niggas that stood by my side. Should've seen it coming, but I trusted you. As it took place, now who's the fool? There's no time, my mind anyway to to me or to you. Back them up, set me up. Back them up. Should've seen it coming, but I trusted you. I just took place, now who's the fool? There's no time, my mind anyway true. Show to me what you do. Back them up.
I really, I don't know if it's because like I grew up on, like I was super into the Misfits growing up and like Evil Live, and you know the sound on that is just so bad. You know, it's just not like a proper recording, and you know the guitars are cutting out and shit. There's all kinds of feedback, and I always loved it. Like I always was into sloppy and not sloppy, but like
a raw sounding recording. Yeah,
this has got that rawness that like I do think what you're saying. Like a lot of bands today have a very similar. Like this is kind of the thumbprint of what a lot of band, you know, what's kind of popular right now. But the rawness of this recording just makes it that much more like just interesting and you know fun to listen to, because it's not the same super thick, super produced like you know, it kind of
the bare bones.
It stands out a little bit more. It just stands out a little bit more.
That's part of why I lost interest in hardcore a little bit, like especially during the aughts, because everything got so overproduced,
polished.
It got too polished. Everything,
you know, recording got easier with the technology and everything else. And you could get a really professional sounding recording, but then everybody was making
shit. You know, like it's not organic. There's no like, you know.
Well, everybody's sampling Vinnie Paul's kit, and you know, like everything kind of all sounds the same. So
it's a drum set from hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing, but like you only want to hear it on their records.
I will note that I bought this comp before I ever went to a hardcore show as kind of a poser, because I was aware of the bands but didn't have friends that wanted to go to the shows. My parents wouldn't really let me go alone, so this is maybe the first non like professional recorded anything I owned. Like everything else I had ever had was some sort of major label release with a fucking gigantic budget. So hearing stuff like this was like, whoa. maybe like Kerplunk before that, which still
Sure.
sounds fine, but it's not Dookie, you know. So just
right.
being able
Yeah.
to hear stuff like that is a huge gateway to more stuff. But moving on, the other hilarious thing about this is, how do you pick the order of bands for a comp like this? Well, let's just go alphabetically.
Until the end, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yes,
I
and
believe it is
and
alphabetically. Yeah.
with neglect at the end.
It only took 25 years for me to find, or more. For
In
me to
their
find out.
defense, N and Z do look alike in the alphabet.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So moving from B to
forward.
C. Yeah.
Our first Lindenhurst appearance, Cleanser.
The Almighty Cleanser.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay, so
Fool's March.
for somebody who's never heard Cleanser, how the hell do you describe this band?
Yeah.
That's a very tall order.
Right?
I think Cleanser had a very different sound.
Totally.
Which, you got to give him that. I mean, Derek
Original.
Neglect went and did this, and it's so different. It's kind of hard to describe, because going back and listening now, especially this recording, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And some of it seems to it's not it kind of makes you realize how green you were when you heard it. That, like, to me it sounded like, oh, this is a band, this sounds fucking great, and this whatever. And to go back, I'm like, wow, this shit sounds rough. It sounds pretty raw, and it sounds a little again, I'm not trying to use the word sloppy and whatever, but it is a little rough around the edges, and some of the timing gets a little wild. But again, that kind of thing always appealed to me. I was always a fucking pretty big fan of Cleanser. I liked pretty much, a lot of their stuff. But yeah, these two songs definitely show a little more rawness, and it kind of helps understand how much they developed over the years when you're more used to like a later record like Monster, and like that's a lot more produced and kind of smooth, and this is like, whoa, they're going off the rails here.
Well, much like the whole comp, it's just super diverse. I mean, the coolest part about Cleanser I remember was obviously, being a drummer and hearing, shout out to Keith, dude, this guy's playing fucking bongos, shooting guns, and like playing this like type of melodic stuff, but they're still a hardcore band. This is really interesting.
He turned like a classical percussion setup into a drum kit.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was absolutely awesome.
He had some crazy shit going on. He certainly was ahead of his time for that, and definitely it was super interesting to watch for sure.
All right. First song is Transfuse. Yeah, a lot going on there.
Yeah.
And of course, a legendary breakdown at the end.
It's kind of awesome. It was the first time I had listened in a long time, and the other day, and I was like, oh boy, there's a lot going on right here, and it's almost it's like, it's holding together, but it's like just ready to go off the rails. But there is it's definitely different. It's definitely very original, and there was definitely some like ahead of our time kind of stuff going on there that you got to respect.
Would art mosh be a proper descriptor?
I mean,
I like it. Yeah, I'll take it.
Is it egg punk and not chain punk?
I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Those are things. Look it up.
Okay.
I will also note, though, as a 13-year-old with the CD who knew nothing about nothing, seeing a fucking Lindenhurst address for this band made me shit my pants. I was like,
100%.
These guys live by Uncle Neil?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Because in my head, the whole band lived at that address.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely I remember being super, when I first got into stuff and I was 13 or 14 and I saw Under the Volcano and there was interviews with Neglect and Mind Over Matter. I'm like, there's bands in Lindenhurst? What? I didn't know that you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I remember that same kind of feeling of being like, what? There's people in our town that not only know what this shit is, but actually play it. What?
Yeah, they do cool shit.
I felt,
yeah.
Totally the way I felt when I started hanging out with a lot of people.
I think Cleanser played my first PWAC show. I think they might have been the first band, or no, Glassjaw was, but Cleanser went on second. I was, it was nothing, completely nothing I'd ever seen before. So it was cool. I was into it.
All right, track 2, Questions.
One question! Big back you! My mind! Is your get me back! Get me what you get! Competition! What you get! Competition on your mind! Say mine! What get? The form, the storm, the wrong and wrong! The wrong, my storm, the wrong and that! The one, the sun, the question everyone, the what, question. Next question. Repeat! Well, nonsense. You want with you, with my action, try yourself, competition, yourself. The form, the storm, the rocks and wax.
Lots of China symbols to be used on this
I was
comp.
literally just about to say, you took the words right out of my mouth, Meatloaf. No shortage of China symbol on this comp.
Plenty of China, for sure.
This fucking high and tight snares,
This is my Cleanser jam. This is one of this is probably my favorite Cleanser song. And as a fan of most of the catalog, that's a bold one, but there is a part later on where there's a vocal that the Why Do I Try So Hard part.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate. It's like one of my favorite vocals ever of all time, because it's one of those things that only happens in 90s emo, but where he's really stretching his range. He's really about to just go right out of it, but fucking nails it. It's just so real, and it's
It's something you'd only attempt when you're younger. You would not attempt that now.
Yeah,
Right?
100%. No, it's so fucking awesome. I that's my favorite part of any Cleanser song ever, and most songs.
All right, Cleanser, none of the above records artist, Cleanser.
Yes.
All right, next up, we're going to the letter E. EBD, Emotional Breakdown.
Wow.
What do we know about this band?
I know Tim Lyons was the singer.
Okay.
You still catch him around at shows once in a while. He's another person that I kind of met early on in that, end of high school. I met him through Pete Motive. I know that EBD used to have free buffet written on all the flyers for all their shows, but there was apparently never a free buffet.
Oh.
Not
Genius.
fans of truth in advertising. So.
Yeah.
Mm.
But hey, whatever gets people to the show, right?
Yeah.
I think food shows is the best.
I've seen a lot of free beer flyers too. So
There you go.
yeah. First song is Welcome to Suburbia.
suburbia. Real life up to one of the faces. Welcome to suburbia. Same old shit with brand new faces. But it all remains a fucking same. It never the same.
I love a clever turnaround into a breakdown, like they did in the beginning there.
Mhm.
Was that the like reverse cymbal sound kind of thing going on?
I didn't catch
There's
that.
There's a crazy part in the beginning there where right before they slow down, like they come in with the fast welcome to the suburbia.
Yeah,
And then it goes
it's that stop on a dime. Yeah,
that stop has something going on that sounds insane. I don't know if it's
Could
like
be
a
just
reverse
a bleed from something else that just
I don't know if
the
it's,
master or whatever.
it sounds to me like when you hit a cymbal and play it backwards.
might be a pick slide or something.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it sounds insane.
The production sounds a little different on this one. It's like
It's funny. My
more-
notes actually say that it says sonically a little better. It's funny that you bring that up.
It's it's a big. It kind of shows like how much range there is. Every band comes across sounding very different. Like
yeah,
I know there's been comps where like they bring everybody in to the same studio and kind of have everything mic'd up and ready to go, and you just crash through it, and it's you kind of get the same sound on everything. This comp does not sound like everybody recorded at the same studio. It's got a lot of variation. I mean, it's got a lot of 90s snare drum for sure. 100%. Everybody's got like very 90s snares, but like guitar sounds very different. The spatial, the mixes are totally, it's not even like they're mixed the same, which is kind of interesting.
all right. Track number 2, Desensitized.
Everything it burns like everybody says I don't want it to take time to come to realize. Realize. That we are not just numbers. We are not simply faces. We are not the fucking statistic. Everything burns like everybody says I don't want it to.
Reminds me of Crumbsuckers. This one a little bit.
Yeah.
It's got that late 80s thing going on.
Say early sheer terror too, kind of.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
It's the bark in the vocals and
Yeah.
and the kind of that's definitely, I hear that for sure.
that
It's funny because
fast-paced vocal pattern.
before the vocals came in, I was gonna say, man, this has a lot of Warzone in it,
Yeah.
which is dope. They're one of the few bands that has that 80s New York kind of sound in some of the parts, which love that.
Yeah.
Love the whole goddamn day.
I'll take all that you got.
Yep.
Sure. That's Emotional Breakdown.
Thanks,
On.
Tim.
On to the letter G, our next Lindenhurst appearance. Glassjaw. Early Glassjaw is so different from what they became.
Yeah, completely different band.
This is another band at the time that's like beyond description. I don't know what they were listening to or what like influences they were bringing in for this shit.
Yeah, that's certainly up to question. Who the hell knows? Because it doesn't sound like anything.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder what the writing process was like, because Baldwin was. This is Beck on drums, which
Unmistakably Beck on drums.
Yeah, very unique, very
for sure
Busy.
yeah.
busy, but definitely of the time. But yeah, I kind of wonder if he was involved in the guitar parts too at all, because I know he's kind of versed in everything and can play everything, and I think does on a lot of the recordings later. So I don't know how involved everybody else was, but this definitely sounds way different than stuff that would come later.
So this is pre-Todd on guitar. They had a guy named Brian who's credited in this. So I don't know who that is.
Interesting.
But anyway, first song, one of the more famous riffs on the comp, Faust.
Definitely the riff. That is like the riff for this record.
Yeah.
That and one other, which we'll get to
Oh yeah.
later, and I think you probably all know what it is. But yeah, no, this riff. I mean, if you were learning guitar or early on in your guitar playing in the 1990s, how many times did you play this in your basement?
Right away. It's a fucking
millions.
E. So
Yeah,
there
warming up at
right?
a show. How many times did you get that riff or
Oh,
another
yeah.
band? And then it's like they play it,
And then
they know what we know. It's like that familiarity. Like,
and again, very different.
The squeal at the
recording,
end when
very
it comes
different
back
sound.
into that
Yeah.
other part.
Got that much more overdriven guitar tone.
very, very rhythmic, I
mhm.
mean, you got
yeah.
Ariel on bass, like completely like taking that shit for a walk. And that was one of the best things about Glassjaw is like no matter what lineup change they went through, they're always a very rhythm-centric band. And I don't know if that does come from Beck playing drums on the early stuff or him having to do a lot with the writing and the structure of the songs. But
I have to imagine it has to do everything with Beck. I have to imagine he has his hand in every part of everything with his band forever. Because even after Ariel left, he played bass, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's done everything in the band except for sing.
All right, song number 2, Bravado. Yeah, so this one I could definitely hear some influence. I could hear Shift. I could hear Quicksand. It's a little more of that 90s post-hardcore thing going on.
It's funny because as I'm listening to it, I'm thinking like this is Cleanser without like all the crazy extra shit going on. Like this, if Cleanser didn't sound like a fucking a caravan going through the desert of like just all sorts of shit going on at once, that's what they would sound like. And it's funny because it crosses over to the Miscellaneous thing. This song, I always think this is Daryl's song on the Miscellaneous comp because these riffs, this shit sounds like Derek. Yeah, interesting.
Also, 6/8 time.
I was literally just
90s.
about to say that I always appreciate Glassjaw songs that have like that 3/4, that 6/8, because it's like it's different yet still like those riffs come across just as like hard,
Yeah. Also a very 90s thing. Like
totally.
All right. Up next, this is a band that I think Knocked Loose owes a thank you card. Headcase.
Oh.
First song, Slipping Away. Let's get right into it. There's some choices made in the vocals there.
Fucking awesome. That, like, straight up, I would, if I had access to more of this, I would listen to this right now. Like, this is what I'd listen to today.
I don't think that is a choice. I think that's what that guy does.
100%. Yeah.
You know?
No, that's
He made a choice to go in the studio and put that on tape.
I think
Right. But they were like, "Can you sing?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm a fucking blueberry."
I absolutely love it.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I like stuff that doesn't sound like every. I always like. I think there was a review in Under the Volcano or somewhere that compared Kyle to Miss Piggy vocals at some point. I always loved shit that sounded different and did something else and did something different. So I always kind of liked that, and it was, completely, Kicked in the Balls, same thing. And honestly, I think Kicked in the Balls and Headcase is pretty much the same band. It's all Tension crew. I'm pretty sure Joe played in all of them. I'm pretty sure Dave Musser played in all of them. Dave Horns, probably John.
Is this the aforementioned Kyle from the inside of the CD?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like listening to it now, like I always liked it because it was different and it was like interesting, and maybe when I was younger it was like funny or something. I don't know. But listen to the vocal patterns. There's other people just going. He's not doing that at all. He's not off time at all.
Oh, he's off on his own thing.
He's not like, like there's stuff on there on this comp where I hear the vocals are not like in time with the music and whatever. He is not off time at all. His delivery is fucking perfect, and it's not like just punch like he's doing.
Yeah, it makes it stand out amongst everything else.
He's 100% doing his own thing. I mean, it sounds pro because of the way he's, his at least the timing and the vocal.
He's owning what he does as opposed to trying to ape someone else's approach.
100%.
Yeah, it's all his own. That's the beauty of it. It's all his own.
I mean, the voice is definitely all his own, and it's different, but the delivery and the timing is fucking great. Like, it's not doing that, bar kind of shit. Like he's.
And again, production-wise, very different. The guitar tone kind of reminds me of the first Harvest album.
Okay.
It's got that really like grimy, kind of searing tone going on.
I feel like I could swear that's John Cox.
Says John on guitar.
And Jon.
Jon. Yeah.
That's definitely okay. So that's John Cox. And that's definitely that fucking. He had that gray carpet Fender solid state, like I think it was a rack mount head, and that's definitely where you're getting that really overdriven fuzzy ass tone that's very 90s, but like really kind of its own thing. Yeah.
All right, track number 2, We Don't Care, in parentheses Boner's Song.
Love this song.
Stand your vengeance.
Big sing along on that chorus.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like definitely some of the most competently played stuff on here too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's there's, you know, even the Glassjaw tracks. I mean, those guys all can play their asses off, but that breakdown at the end of Faust gets real funky with the timing and
Gets a little messy.
Yeah, and this shit is just so tight and well played and super clean. I'm also a big fan of Brothers Keeper, so that kind of informs why I kind of am drawn to this, I guess.
I am too, yeah.
Yeah, oh dude.
Yeah.
So sick, so sick. But yeah, no, this I dig Headcase a lot. I wish that they did more. I saw them a few times back then. I think the 516 comp release show was one of the few that they actually played live. I don't think they did a lot, but I did see them a couple times back then, I think.
We have to get into that too, the release show at the PWAC.
Yeah.
I have
Longest day of my life.
I have vague memories of it, but what were there bands playing in both rooms, the main room and the back room?
I think it was just the main room, and it just went on forever.
Did every band play?
Pretty much almost every band. I don't know if every
Fucking
but it was
insane.
damn close to every band.
Yeah.
Right.
So take this, you know, hour and 40-minute long comp and multiply it by each band instead of doing 2 songs, doing 10.
Doing the whole set.
And then changeovers in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long day.
Wild. My other question was how old, like, I'm assuming most of the people in these bands, I'm younger than all of them by a lot, but they were all around the same age when this was recorded or somewhere in that
Yeah.
I would
Early
span,
20s,
you know?
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I would guess that.
Gotcha.
I mean, Baldwin was in high school.
Glassjaw were probably the youngest ones, yeah.
The learning curve has changed in that, like, with YouTube and computers, kids can be fucking whizzes on guitars before they're, 15 now, as opposed to
Sure. I mean,
back
yeah.
then.
there was always some of that because I always look at like the 80s stuff and the youth crew bands and stuff, and I've been doing that since I turned like 23, and I went, man, all these bands that I like worship all like did their thing by the time they were 17, and I'm like, I missed the goddamn boat, and that was 20 some odd years ago.
Right.
I started thinking that, so now I'm like,
Right.
Jesus Christ, I really, whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, for sure. I would say most.
I guess my point was if any of them are still playing, they are just more seasoned musicians at this point, obviously, for having played almost 30 years longer since then. You know?
Yeah.
They were all still relatively new to it, perhaps.
Sure.
Yeah, moving on. Our next Lindenhurst appearance. Inside.
Now, did you say inside or inside? Like the emphasis on the wrong syllable kind of thing, you know what I mean? Some people would say inside, and then some people would say inside.
Emphasis on the in.
Yeah.
Right.
No emphasis on the side.
Not inside, like you're coming inside. It's inside.
Right. Yeah, even though that's the word, and that's how you would read it any other fucking time you've ever read it in your life.
Ain't that some shit?
First song, Absence.
I often search my mind for questions to the thought you never gave. A simple word to let me know you're at my side again. Let me know you're at my side again. But I can only see your patience running streams. I stare so long, scared myself away. Tell me, are you up there, anywhere? Just close your eyes, 'cause I thought out loud.
So here's a question to ponder. I know like the terms can be interchangeable, but do you think like most of the stuff that we considered emo back in the day was actually post-hardcore? This band included?
No. I mean, if you're going with the classic, like, I mean, that's. Are you 50? Are you 35 or are you 26?
It's a different answer from everyone. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if
That's
you're in your
yeah.
50s and you're like Nation of Ulysses and fucking Rites of Spring was emo and this bullshit that came later is
Revolution Summer. That's it, man.
yeah. I mean, and I'm 100% about that stuff.
Yeah. You also had Sunny Day, Cap and Jazz, the jangly stuff, which has nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
Right. The Midwest emo, if you will, the Kinsella shit.
I mean,
and all that. Yeah.
I love the DC stuff, but the Midwest emo, the Sunny Day, and all that—that's my emo. That's my 90s.
First
like
wave,
that.
second wave,
Promise Ring,
all that shit.
100%.
The first time I heard emo, someone told me Silent Majority was emo, and I was like, I don't know what to think.
I'm not 100% disagreeing with them. I think there's a lot of emo
I get
in
it.
Silent Majority.
But then when someone's like, when James McCall was like, yeah, emo's like the Promise Ring or Fugazi, I'm like, that's not what Silent Majority sounds like.
Silent Majority had a lot of different things going on over the years. That was a band with a lot more range. Everybody thinks about the one goddamn record, and there was a lot of range if you dig into some of the old stuff and then some of the later stuff. Definitely would have been interested to hear what came next, but oh well.
Yeah. But I think just listening to Inside now, they basically took Quicksand and added Morrissey, which doesn't necessarily equal emo to me.
It's like Quicksand meets Mineral, if you want to be more.
Yeah, I hear a lot of Mineral in Inside.
Yeah, totally.
I always thought they were like, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, they were one of the, again, first PWAC show I went to, they played, and it was like, oh, this is emo. This is what emo is. So they're kind of, you know, imprinted on.
They also took to calling themselves emo at some point because they had those Intel stickers or shirts that said emo inside. You know?
Okay. Interesting.
Early adopters.
Yeah, because most people always like, oh, we don't want to be called emo. It's like, whatever.
They fucking owned it. Yeah.
I mean, this is dope. This is great. Is this Eddie inside? This is, right? This is while he was still around?
I believe so. There's no list in there.
But I'm pretty sure he's on this. This is his, because he was on the first record, and I think that might have come out after this.
Yeah, I do like this version of the song better than the 7-inch. Extra lyrics at the beginning too. I don't know why they cut those out.
It's a little bit different. Yeah.
All right. Second song is Radio Flyer.
This is so public, not public access, but like late night TV commercial for a local snowboard shop kind of thing. Like, that's what
if I think hard enough, I could think of the name of that snowboard shop that you're talking about.
Right, that's the thing. Yeah. Like I always, anytime I hear a riff like this, I'm like that's that 90s fucking snowboard kind of music.
What the fuck was the name of that place? That's gonna bother me so much.
It definitely speaks more to your point, Vito, of a little more, I don't know, maybe not Quicksand, but like, you know, that post-hardcore kind of thing. Less. The first track was definitely a lot more dramatic, but
this one has more like alt rock to it.
Yeah,
like I could even hear some Nirvana and shit going on in this one.
Yeah. Maybe I would say that I definitely played along to the first one a lot more, like on guitar, and kind of start.
Second one might be a drop tuning where the first one is not. I believe, you know.
Pretty sure we started a band based on that first track.
We definitely did.
Were you in that band?
Delusions of Grandeur, yeah.
No, before that even. The
Oh,
one with
really?
Antonio. No, it was me and Greg Cook and Antonio and
Oh, that band.
I forget who was in it. It was just we never even had a name. It was literally called the Emo Band. We had one incredible song, and I still know how to play it. But Delusions of Grandeur was sick. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, with Mikey on vocals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, definitely very much influenced by Inside, I would say, and specifically that one track. But
everybody duke it out in the comments. What is emo? What is post-hardcore? We need some engagement. Start fighting.
I mean, it's in the like what everybody's been calling emo for the past 10 years, especially, but probably 20. Like MCR and pop punk. That's just like goth pop punk is like the mainstream definition of emo. And now there's bands coming out on Long Island, or not just coming out, but like there's bands that and not just Long Island, but wherever, that are starting to use the emo term, and they're a whole other thing that I'm like, really? I don't know if that's what I hear here, but
right.
Hey man,
it's a little more in line with the traditional thing, but still.
Oh, for sure.
You can't deny that those kids grew up on that stuff.
Yeah,
it's always going to be there.
No,
yeah.
No, I hear more indie and even just I don't know what the fuck is Wilco? What do you call what is that?
Sad.
Like I hear more of that going on in some of these lately.
Yeah.
Lately. But I dig it. I love it.
I hear
it. I fuck with some Wilco. Yeah.
I'm fucking with
if I were in my 20s, I'd call it emo too.
I mean,
potato.
So now for the polar opposite of emo. Justice Unknown.
Tough Guy 101.
Very curious 1-2 punch.
First song is Smash Depression. Yeah, one of the best productions in the whole thing, I think.
Really? And also like the first well maybe not, it sounds like the first traditional snare drum sound so far to me on the record. Like not 90,
a little bit more mid-range,
there's no
ping, very high pitched. Yeah,
and it properly sits in the mix as opposed to being
the drum production on this track is dope. Andrew's voice is just like it sounds like there's scabs that are just ripping as he goes, just tearing and flying out of his mouth as he goes. It's so gravelly, but not gravelly in that like
you can understand.
It just sounds torn up. Like it sounds really like it sounds awesome. It sounds really fucking awesome.
You know what I realized? Justice Unknown was kind of like a grown-up Respect Is Lost.
Yeah. I think you guys definitely took a lot from or at least Brendan.
Brendan definitely did.
I think he took a lot of influence from this for sure.
Yeah,
this was definitely the first band I remember being noticeably scared of, like horrified. I was terrified to even like, oh fuck, these guys
probably,
are playing,
probably the first skinhead band I probably saw ever.
And I think there's a possibility I still had long hair at the time. And I am positive. You know what? Medford VFW. I definitely saw them, and I definitely like fucking bunched my hair up under my hat and pretended I didn't have long hair because I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get killed. This is gonna be bad.
They do thank a few 3-letter crews, so that probably gives you a hint of who they may have been hanging out with. I don't know who SUP,
SUP is-
DBA, or IBB are. but-
SUP is Smoke Up Posse. That's the Tension Crew.
Okay. Pat and DBA, Lotus Tattoo, IBB.
Yeah, they think a tattoo shop. Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. Song number 2, Rejected.
Really tight, you know?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
really, really tight. Like everything
Such a-
lines up really, really well. Not just sonically, like we were talking about before, just performance-wise. Just
Yeah.
a really, really tight band. I mean, I remember seeing
Yeah.
them at like places like Crawdaddy's, Dr. Shays, whatever, all those early shows of all those like those tough guy bands, everybody gets hurt and shit like that. And it was just like they were just musically really, really tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
reinventing the wheel in any way, but just
Not at
solid.
all. No, just doing
No,
what they do
just-
and doing
Yeah.
it well. And that's like the
Yeah.
best shit, you know? I mean, to kick
Yeah.
it back to cooking, you know, real quick, like the best tasting shit is the simplest shit. It's the same thing with the music. It's the same thing with hardcore. It's the same thing with the breakdown. It's the same
Meat
thing
and
with
potatoes. Yeah.
the riff, you know? Exactly.
Yeah.
Vegetarian riffs are good too.
Yeah. Cool band. Also have an album out on None of the Above Records. So
Yeah.
check it out.
Yep.
Cool. Next up, Leech Implant.
Shout out to Ron, the fucking man. Hell
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. First song is self-titled, the Leech Implant theme song. One of the more unhinged vocal performances.
Absolutely, and it's perfect. It's just so like it's real. It's fucking raw. It's
Yeah.
It's you know, it's everything I
It's
want.
like a perfect foreshadow for like what Death Cycle is now. Like you hear this riff and you can hear like that influence now where it's just the same rawness and that like
I feel like it's almost more more unhinged here and a little less. I don't know. I feel like his voice gets a little
it's a little more chaotic.
stressed here and almost cracked. It's dope.
They're definitely pulling from like the crustier stuff too, like Nausea
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Amoebics and all that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as heavy and it's more punk a little bit.
Yeah.
To bring it back to high school, what was the band with the Dead Bug Cemetery? What that song, Dead Bug Cemetery?
Oh,
You remember this?
wow.
They were like sort of I don't know if they were like industrial, but they were like, you know, they would play with like bile and shit.
Oh, is that Dystopia 1?
Dystopia 1. So I'm pretty
This is
sure
the drummer from that band.
I'm pretty sure it's the whole band except for the singer.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's definitely the drummer and the bass player.
I remember it because I remember the drummer. I remember seeing them at PWAC and remembering them opening up for Bile when we saw them. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Which is cool.
I think they have a few releases out on None of the Above. Dystopia 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have one. They have an album with Steve Buscemi on the cover. The Buscemi tapes.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting.
All right. The second Legion Plant song. Question mark.
This is ABC No Rio to me. This is the whole vibe.
Yeah, this is just like full on anarcho.
Yeah,
crust.
Yeah. It's fucking beautiful. I love this.
Yeah,
this is.
Now this would be chain punk, not egg punk.
Chain punk.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. I actually bought Legion Plant had a demo. I bought it from Ron at a show. They had already broken up, but he was selling them at the Deja One. And I bought one, and I ended up talking to him and got distracted and left the tape sitting there. And I never owned the Legion Plant demo. So if anybody's got one, please rip it and put it in the world for me, because I would listen to this all the time.
And if you're in a band from Long Island, you have not truly made it until Ron Grimaldi has shown up at one of your shows.
No.
That's how you know you played a real show on Long Island.
You know, it's funny. I had lunch with Ron about a couple months ago. I specifically called him up and said, "Hey, can we go get food?" so that I could tell him basically something very similar to that, and what a benchmark his presence in your life is when you feel like, wow, I'm really like an official part of Long Island Hardcore or hardcore in general because Ron knows who I am.
And then, like, after I started seeing him at shows, I saw him at like fucking every wrestling show I ever went to around here. He was at too.
Yeah. I remember when I first started going out with Galen, I was like, I mentioned Ron, and she's not like, she didn't really go to hardcore shows, but she took photos at, more like, Thursday and shit like that. And I was like, you know who Ron Grimaldi is? And she's like, no. And I'm like, you know who Ron Grimaldi is. You're going to take one look at this guy and be like, oh, he's been at every show I've ever been to. Lo and behold, the first time they were in a room together, she was like, oh, that guy. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Everybody knows this guy. He's at every show, even though they're happening at the same time, because there's definitely it's that 5G shit, man.
Yeah.
He's railing against 5G, but he's the fucking hologram.
That's the thing. It's 5 Aldi.
Very nice.
Joe solved the mystery.
He's been playing us this whole time.
Yo, I've definitely had people that were at a different show than I was that said they saw him the same night that I saw him at a different.
He's a franchise.
He travels by helicopter. Yeah.
AI is real. Ron isn't? I don't know. We may never know.
Okay. Up next, one of the weirder selections on this whole comp, Man Down Alone.
Oh yeah.
What do we know about this band?
They like effects.
I don't think they were very long lived. I remember them playing a couple shows, maybe some tension shows, outrage, stuff like that, those kind of thing. I don't remember them. I don't really remember them playing the record release for this thing, but
I don't either. No.
They were definitely interesting. Very interesting.
Let's check it out.
Vocals.
First song is Separate and Waste. Yeah, so a drum break that slows down into a bass solo.
Yeah.
This one.
That is definitely some real 1995 talking about.
And playing with his fingers for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
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 I'm surprised he doesn't start slapping like once or twice. Yeah.
You get a few pops in there.
It's a vibe. It's a thing for sure.
Some choices made in the guitar tone for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea what that is at the beginning there. I don't know if it's a pitch shifter thing where I don't know. There's some weird pedals that were out there.
It's like a Dave Matthews thing going on or something.
Yeah, it's super weird. It's interesting. It's different.
Yeah, I mean,
different is important. I kind of really dig the vocals before it gets into that heavy, tough part, like the first half. Just kind of raw, kind of gruff, but definitely a little emotive, kind of
like yearning. Very,
yeah. He's really yearning for something.
You know what? We should also take time and call all of these phone numbers and ask for the bands and explain that we saw it inside of the CD.
Oh boy!
Well, it's a Middle Island address and a 516 number, so I imagine that's out of service at this point.
Middle Island.
Do you think that the kanji below "man down alone" means "man down alone"?
It probably means to pluck chickens or something.
It's definitely not "man down alone."
Two of the symbols repeat, so definitely not.
Yeah.
All right, second song, "Emotions Past." These guys were definitely Mr. Bungle fans. For sure.
Is that what that is? Because I'm listening to this and I'm like, if you took the vocals out and put Chris Changa on there, I would think that this is a Jimmy Changa song. Like it's that like stop punk kind of,
Jimmy Changa.
Yeah. Weird band. I don't know.
Interesting for sure.
I mean, different.
They were a standout, and I know people definitely talked about them. Yeah. They weren't a band whose name never got spoken.
Cool.
All right, let's talk about the riff.
Another very famous riff off of this comp.
Yo,
we're talking about Motive.
The mighty Motive.
Talking about 6 months after this comp, he didn't even play that part because people would sing it. That was wild. Crazy. That shit was cool. Yeah. Oh, it was nuts. It was super cool.
All right. First song, first quarter. Yeah, the only thing that bums me out about this song is the production. It's kind of muddy.
I don't mind it. It's, again, that's my like punk rock thing. Like I kind of like a fucked up production, and I like when stuff's a little off.
Yeah. But I think the guitar playing is just so good. I want it clearer.
Sure.
I can agree with that totally.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it kind of almost adds a little something to it that I kind of hear what's in between the.
So is that a dive bomb or like an above the nut like little bendy deal?
No, I think it's a pinch harmonic. I'm not sure.
Well, that's the way the note bends.
The way
though, it's like. Is it like a touch up here thing? You know what I mean? Or
I think it's all just.
I think
it's bending. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't have a clue. I don't remember him playing with a Floyd Rose or anything like that. That would
right
weird. But again, I don't also remember seeing him play it live that much because after this comp came out, they would go and the whole audience would go.
Yeah,
it was fucking awesome. But like. Yo, this again, another band that like really had some range, did a lot of different stuff. But this stuff is so cool and so not Long Island or New York. These guys, again, another band that belonged in like Louisville or some shit. Like they got like a falling forward endpoint kind of vibe going on that like nobody else on Long Island was really messing with. So very cool stuff. I mean, across the board, everything going on here, the vocals, all of it.
And this is original lineup Motive with Al.
Yeah, this is Al.
Vocals.
This is Al.
A-list.
Did my first tattoo.
One of my first shows was Motive at the Lindenhurst Civic Center with Millhouse and the Black People, whatever that was, when it was like Artie and Mike D and them dressed up doing weird stuff. But wild show. Might have been the Motive record release. Because I feel like there was just shit for that all over the place there. But
which record?
So I was about to say for the 7-inch or
no, the full length.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there was a 7-inch with Al on Bittersweet Records that almost nobody has because it was before, they kind of picked up when they got onto Wreckage and Atif was singing.
Right.
Which, I mean, that 7-inch is completely insane. Some of the coolest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, that shit's awesome.
But again, I really dig the Al stuff too. Like, it's just very different. It's a totally different band. Like, it has a lot more, they had like the Youth Crew look kind of thing going on, but had that kind of max, that different sound. It was cool. I dig it.
All right, track 2, Borders. another great riff.
Yeah,
I want to mention hilariously that while we're doing this, Hugo's mother replied to a comment I left on something on Facebook right now.
it's wild.
Shout out Dorothy.
Yeah.
Someone
Asked if there's a local farmers market
Okay.
in a Lindenhurst community group. So I said Babylon Farmers Market.
Sure.
And your mother said Babylon Village has moved from the train station to the gazebo across Montauk. Yeah.
She's out there promoting.
Little does she know I'm talking to her son right now.
There you go. That's interesting.
The world's a crazy place, man.
It's a small world.
Isn't it?
It's a small world, and farmers markets are a big part of it. Yeah.
But yeah, another great riff.
Totally sick riff. And again, like I listen to that riff and I hear and I see exactly what they looked like at the time, and it was basketball jersey, straight edge, 90s. You know, that's literally who they were at the time.
Which, back to your point, a very like Louisville vibe. Like they look like hardcore kids, but it sounds like something
exactly like
field.
They look like they're into everything on integrity, on Victory Records. You know, and basketball jerseys and giant pants and the whole like, you know, and definitely super into the edge for the time being, and then later super not. But no, that's definitely a sound that you know, they were kind of the only ones around here that really embraced much.
And definitely when we talk to people on this podcast who were like around back in the day, like everyone mentions Motive. I think almost every episode, you know, with somebody who was into hardcore with us back in the day.
They stayed in people's memory for a long time.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
It's some of the more interesting guitar stuff that we've heard on this comp so far, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Aside from like Cleanser.
Yeah. And it's definitely very different than what everybody else is doing. It's very well played. And honestly, on the second track, after Vito said what he said about the production, I really wish I could hear the drums better. I really want to hear what's going on, because Pete was definitely pretty.
Pete's a fucking beast. Yeah,
he was very awesome. Yeah,
just straight up awesome.
Yeah,
he was always a phenomenal drummer. He was always a phenomenal drummer.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that plays, you know, plays like that. Cool. I played with some great ones, and I don't know anybody that plays like that.
Cool. And I think some of their stuff's going to be reissued soon on Rec H.
Yeah, I think Record just putting out a bunch of stuff, and maybe one day they'll play again, which would be ultra awesome.
Yeah, the reunion they did, I guess 06, that was with Mind Over Matter. That was they sounded great. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So the last band on disc 1. This is one of the more underrated bands in Long Island, in my opinion. Outrage.
Oh,
Outrage, yeah.
Absolutely.
This band rules.
Yeah, they were great. I mean, really, really good band, really great songs, great riffs, a lot of fun. Yeah. I've definitely seen them maybe a little partied too hard and not holding it together as well live.
Sure.
I know that was kind of a thing, a running thing for a while. Ron had talked, you know what? Another one, Ron, what a sick drummer. He's another one I had the opportunity to play with. We were in tension together for a while, and he is he's insane. He's so tight. He's so you never hear him fuck up. You never hear him go off time. He's like, you know, he played a rack. He played a rack kit. Yep. The only dude in Long Island Hardcore that would ever show up and set up an entire rack. But yeah, great drummer.
We all dabbled with the rack back in the day.
Yeah.
Joe had a rack for a very long time.
Yeah, real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I put like one thing.
Well, like Ron kept it going.
The opposite of what you should use a rack for. So
Ron was still playing the rack when we were in tension together. So he held on for a long time. But no, Outrage was sick. Outrage had the riffs, had the lyrics, had the sound,
had the message too. They were really all about the message.
Yeah,
like very much so of like the lyrics. Being just as important as the music, which was one of the things that drew me to hardcore the most, was like, it is so much more than music once you get, you know, past all the the shit that you see, the shit that you hear, and then you really see what, the lyrics and hear them, what they're about, and certain people and what they stand for. And like, I think this song's like an anti-suicide song or something like that, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but
Let's check it out.
much about the message,
First song, It All Ends.
Turning back the hands of time to find what I've done wrong. Tried my best to make my life just so I belong. It just wasn't good enough. Wanted just to see fall right on my fucking face. What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
Yeah, the Saint Anger snare in full effect on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this song rules. Everything flows so well. It's just like
How a song like that should
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah, no, they're the perfect embodiment of that style. Like they just nailed it. They just
Yeah.
I just remember being super into them, having that demo. It was so goddamn good. And also, I don't know, this is super weird and random, but I remember being like, yo, this dude, the singer, looks like a baseball coach. He's got like a mustache and like a windbreaker.
Like
He just
Mike
doesn't look.
Tyson.
He doesn't have a fucking like Puka
he just looked like a 40-year-old dad. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like a regular, sort of a regular person, whatever that is when you're a 14-year-old kid that like everybody going to see has giant pants and fucking basketball jerseys, and this guy, like,
he's a normie. Yeah.
not even a normie, but he looked like, he might fucking have a few beers after work and like coach a fucking little league baseball team. And I was like,
so he's egg punk, not chain punk.
I don't know, but he had it was just different for me. I was used to seeing so much of that, like, three records look, and this was such a
he wasn't trying at all.
Yeah,
when we all were,
yeah, he was not fucking fronting at all. He was just like, I'm this dude that comes here, and I'm gonna yell at you, and I'm gonna speak a little bit, and then I'm gonna start yelling, and it's gonna be a perfect transition. You're gonna love it. And I did. I think they covered Metallica, like good Metallica. And that was, I don't know, just throwing that out. Sorry.
Okay, song number 2, Flashback.
Standing on a chair, roped back to the ceiling. If I kick it over, I'll lose all feeling. If I keep it standing, I'll be forced to think. If my life with all this shit starts to get to shrink, as my eyes start to tear, body on control, give me reasons to keep life, my time to unfold. Mom and dad, friends and foes, not enough for me. Should I just go end it all? Nothing's what I'll be. Nothing's what I'll be. Fuck this world, people in it too. Nothing's what I'll be. Fuck this world, people in it too. Nothing's what I'll be. Fuck. Halfway dead, halfway alive. Which way will I choose?
You know what I think about with this? I'm a big, like, I had a neglect tattoo. I'm a big neglect head. Like, I grew up on that shit and I worship at the altar, and neglect is definitely sacred. But as as the years go on, you understand the people that like kind of, are like some of the neglect stuff, especially later when he started rhyming a little hard.
Yeah,
it gets a little.
There's suicidal nursery rhymes.
Their whole nursery rhymes.
And I can, I still love all of it, but I can see where there's where you
Why someone might not?
yeah, I can see that you could pick some holes, and I don't think you could pick a fucking hole in Outrage at all. I kind of think that they distilled it down to where there's no opportunity to go, this is a little weird. This is whatever.
They don't have a manual labor.
Yeah. There's no manual labor. There's no wires bursting out of my head kind of.
And
shit.
I love that backup vocal too. It's one up it.
It's so good.
It's the breakdown.
Yeah.
So good. And that drum, the intro, the drum part.
Yeah.
It's totally insane. I don't even know what's happening. I don't know what he's playing. Are there rototoms in there? I don't know what the fuck that is, but it sounds good.
It's probably like a Pearl export kit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's awesome though. Outrage definitely underrated.
Super underrated.
Or maybe undersung. Like maybe, they're rated. The people that know them know that they were the shit. I just don't know that like the history, like the kids today all know Neglect. Yeah. And I don't know that they all know Outrage, and that's a shame.
For the youngins out there, if you're into Neglect, definitely seek out Outrage.
Yeah, because honestly,
if you're into songs about killing yourself.
I mean, most of them sound more like Outrage than they do sound like Neglect anyway. So, like, listen to Outrage. They're sick.
Yeah.
They're your blueprint.
All right, so now we're getting into disc 2 of the 516 compilation.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't like,
this is a band that I decided to call Put Down because of Shutdown.
Oh, God.
Even though it is Put Down.
Put Down. What do we know about this band?
Zero. I think I knew about more about them many years ago, and I've forgotten it.
Their bass player's name is Lizard.
Lizard
on bass.
Lizard Put Down.
I feel like somebody knew Put Down. Somebody I knew them or something. I don't fucking know. This is not interesting.
All right, let's check it out. First song is Rapids of Addiction.
Go to How I Hate You. Why don't you just fucking kill yourself?
Got a little breakdown in 3.
Is there any information about where they were from?
Smithtown.
They do thank Tension, Outrage, and Headcase, and Bill the Nine Finger Mute.
All right. I feel like they had to have connections to that crew, but they definitely have a Queens vibe.
I was going to say more of like a New Jersey style sound.
Castle Heights going on there.
Yeah,
right?
I hear Castle Heights. I hear late night, Yeah.
Totally sounds like a Lizard on bass. I'll tell you that much.
Gnarly fucking bass tone. I was into it.
Yeah. It's got the MCA Gratitude bass tone going on.
Oh,
lots of buzz.
Nice.
All right.
My favorite.
And give them a call at 516-496.
I'm going to start calling these numbers now. Just start shouting them out.
Can you, like, back in the day, did people just get like phone calls? They'd be like, "Hey, Put Down." Is Put Down there?
They'd have to talk to somebody's mom.
Can I speak? Can I speak to Lizard? Is Lizard home?
I definitely. I mean, we've called a number or two out of a demo. That's
for sure. Yeah.
Times. Remember we called Green Sleep?
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Hey man, how do you record a demo? How's that work? We were like, how the fuck do you get a demo? How do you record? What is this? And we called the dude. One of those dudes recorded stuff, and we talked to him on the phone. Shit was fucking man. Kids today, like,
They got it real easy.
No, they don't even have it real easy.
Uh-huh.
They have no idea what. Like, I have no idea. It's been so long. Like, calling up
Touring without a
phone
GPS? What the fuck?
calling somebody's fucking
Yeah.
phone number. Like, I don't call somebody I know.
Right.
I'm not gonna call fucking
No.
you, much less some random person that I don't like. Oh, hi, I have your demo. Like,
Right. It took me 20 minutes to call Joe to get you guys on here before.
Yeah.
And I've known Joe for 25 years.
I don't call anybody. I don't want to talk on none of that shit. But like, man, back then you would just fucking, Vito would call fucking the Right Track Inn and be like, hey, can we come play? How's this work? Or call the dude from Greensleeve and be like, hey man, you record stuff? How do we get a demo?
Well, you're one of the handful of people whose home number I still know.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I would say that number is the only number other than my own cell phone that I know it.
Yeah.
You and Sean Dillon.
I know yours, Vito, and I have your father's voice saying it on your answering
Oh,
machine
yeah.
stuck in my head forever. Uh-huh.
We had that message going for like 15 years.
226-6039.
It's out of service. We could say it.
Well,
You can dox me. It's
okay.
cool.
There we
All
go.
right.
I
Second
was gonna say, damn, bro.
second putt down track. No way out.
What do we live in this town? What can we do to rebel against corporation and greed? Not enough to fight for the need.
Yeah, kind of more of the same there.
Yeah,
But
yeah, definitely heavier than a lot of stuff that was going on. But yeah, it's that kind of Queens vibe, that kind of Castle Heights, Castle Fights.
Drummer showing off a bit in this one.
Sure, yeah. There's
I
some
mean,
stuff
hey,
going
if
on
you
there,
got it, why not?
right?
Also, I have to add one of the better logos of the whole stable here. Very, very 90s.
Is that Papyrus, the font?
No, it's not. But if I think hard enough, I could think of the name of this font. It's like the NWA Straight Outta Compton.
Yes,
font.
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it is. Yes, it is.
Straight
And
out
it's-
the box.
And you,
I can't with a font, man. I can't any font. I just
uh-huh.
Yeah,
gotta do
agree.
hand drawn type. You have to do hand drawn type across the board.
Unless you're gonna
Forever.
fuck with it enough to make it unrecognizable.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's on top of like an old drawing of like panthers and like a Gordian knot. It looks like it definitely looks like a tattoo of that time.
It seems like a lot to reproduce. Like when you do that kind of thing and you put
Right.
it on a flyer, like, oh, this is going to go over another image that's already happening, and it's gonna
look really confusing. Yeah.
Busy.
It's gonna
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next up, Reach. This band
Richie-
is still around.
Richie
Really?
Cipriano.
Richie Sip, right?
Richie Sip from Sick of
Yep.
It All. Yeah.
Who is the singer of Reach?
So
That would be Jason McDonald.
on this, it is, but a later band, their singer is now the singer.
What?
We'll
What's
put a
the
pin.
English?
Put a pin in that.
Was that it?
On
A later band
the singer
on
is
this
now the
comp.
singer.
A later band on this comp. The singer of that
Okay.
band is now the singer of Reach.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
On that note, first song is called Waiting.
I can see it seem
Yeah, you could tell this band had aspirations beyond hardcore for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which I think they kind of did go on to, if I recall.
Hey man, reach for the stars.
I saw them at a
became
Warp
kind
Tour.
of on a Warp Tour?
I saw them at Warp Tour in '99. I think they were the very first band to play that day.
Were they on
Wow.
like Building Records or something like that? Did they get on one of those labels that kind of broke out for a minute? And
That was the Don Fury
like,
thing, right?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Building was Don. Yeah. I feel like they were in that kind of like circle of like bands that kind of moved up to like playing like industry showcases in the city and shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Song number 2, Plant a Seed.
Before my life is complete, there is something I must see. Before I have what I need, I'm required to fancy. Before my life is complete, there is something I must see. Before I have what I need, I'm required to fancy. Plant the seed, plant the seed, plant the seed, plant the seed. Before my life is complete, there is something I must see. Before I have what I need, I'm required to fancy. Before my life is complete, there is something I must see. Before I have what I need, I'm required to fancy. Plant the seed, plant the seed, plant the seed, plant the seed, plant the seed.
Vocals are a little bit more tame on this one.
Yeah, he's not doing that.
Hetfield fucking
It's interesting. Then it's got like that very, traditional hardcore
The gang vocal chorus.
Yeah, the Plant the Seed. But funny enough, you know who this reminds me of for some reason? Sonopath. Remember fucking
That's exactly what I thought when I listened to it again.
Oh my god. That's
Yep,
great.
yep.
Can't believe you remember that.
It's like, metal dudes like trying to like slip their way
not
in.
even like rock dudes, not even metal, but rock dudes, like that side of metal, I guess.
Right.
But like
Ugly Kid Joe type of dudes, like
playing
like that hardcore,
kind of like long hair rock dude that tries to be a little bit more embellished in the vocals and stuff, but then getting in on some riffs like this. It's
funny. That's actually how I feel about the next band.
Okay.
What's that? Let's see.
Hilariously, on the next band, there are 2 credited bassists. Dan Martinez plays regular bass, but the funk bass is played by Chris Anelante.
Are there slap parts? I don't remember.
Kind of, sort of. I don't know. I always liked them because they had like almost like you're gonna love. There's like a Faith No More vibe almost. Like they had like that.
Then I would assume someone slapping
that like funk like element almost, but still with like a heaviness or whatever. But that's kind of funny that they had 2 basses, one guy just to play that part.
Funk bass,
funk bass.
The next band we're talking about is Retribution.
Let's hear that funk
from Franklin Square. Here we go.
Funklin Square is more like it.
This is a band I always skipped over on this. Not as bad as I remember, but
No, I think it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
There's a little bit going on there. There's something.
It's a little left of center for this comp,
It's definitely that, and it's competently played and interesting. I kind of would maybe listen to this again.
It's just like the whole thing, man. It's diverse.
Some different kind of riffs.
Yeah.
And some funk bass
funk
eventually.
bass.
Yeah. The production's kind of interesting too. It's a little more, I don't know, fleshed out. I want to say almost some of the guitar tones and stuff sound a little more, like in the more traditional zone than
It sounds cleaner
the metal
overall.
zone. Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
All right. Second song is Kick to the Curb.
There was a time when it begun. People forgot about their sons. Get to the curb, get to the curb. Searching places that they could run. Get to the curb, get to the curb. Left alone, left alone. I never thought that I would be left to the side. I never thought that I could see if I opened up my eyes. I looked all around to see that no one is there. No one cares. Now I'm looking, now I see what exactly has become of me. Standing around and looking for, like the fact that I was left in the cold. People saw me and no one cared. I don't give a shit, they won't be spared. Now I'm coming out, all full blast. Look to the future.
Little killing time on that one.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm hearing
Yeah, I
like
agree
a
with that.
Rollins band vibe going on too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Vocally.
Yeah, definitely something like that. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely different. I
I
like
was gonna say
the
it's different from the first track.
that guitar part happening under the kick to the curb part was kind of cool. It was
Definitely.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of like surprising turnarounds going on there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some interesting embellishments.
Shout out Retribution. Not
Yeah.
bad. Shout out Chris on the funk bass.
Mhm.
All right, next up. The only band with one song on this comp. Lindenhurst's Finest. Silent
Fuck
Majority.
yeah.
So all they need is one to
That's it.
own the whole fucking comp.
One, to quote Tenacious D, one is all you need.
The anthem.
That's it.
Expectations.
Alone again. It's all the time. Push aside again. Almost no gain. Someone for everyone. Everyone. One
Yeah, of course, starts off with an insane drum part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he calm it down a little bit on the Spectator? I mean, he didn't calm it down. He always did like amazing, insane shit, but like there's almost like I don't know. I just almost feel like there's even more going on here than
on the album.
Yeah, it almost feels like all right. Take it a step back. Let's smooth things down a little bit for the album and not to go too crazy.
Well, I know the album was his first time playing to a click.
Oh,
So,
infamous click.
How
do you feel about the click?
I'm married to it.
We're having a big thing about the click right now because we just did an EP and we were having problems with the click because one of the parts, just the timing shifts.
Yeah.
And we've been playing together for so many years that we all just kind of flow the same way. So like, I'm like, fuck a click. Like Quinn is super like, come on.
Yeah.
Like what else? What do I gotta say? Quinn is so solid and steady, but like, you know, there are parts where it's not going to be to a click. Like it's not going to go that exact same. I don't know. I don't know how to describe this.
I mean, it depends on what you're playing for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think a band like yours really needs it. Maybe like, you know, it might actually sound better if you're pushing the tempo a little more altogether.
I like when shit swings a little bit.
Yeah.
And I like when there's a part, if there's a part and it doesn't fall into the exact same, like, whatever. I don't know. Again,
yeah.
Let's just say that the drumming on this is insane.
Yes.
The drumming on this song, totally nuts. I was actually
insane.
Like paying a lot of attention to it just now. Listen to it. Very cool. Very, you know, nothing feels off. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart at all.
But, you know, obviously one of the big live events.
Yeah.
When they play. This
classic.
Is the big sing along.
I feel like this and Recognize for me are the two, you know, classic tracks, classic big build up sing alongs.
Yeah.
Yeah. The difference being this
also blew my mind. Sorry, also blew my mind that there was a Lindenhurst address on this one. And I remember showing a friend of mine.
There's nothing else.
At his 12th birthday, saying like, this band's from fucking Lindenhurst. And another kid at the party was like, my mom works at Sears Hardware with the guy from that band.
Oh, wow.
And a friend of mine, worked with Rich. His mom worked with Rich at Sears Hardware.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, man, we got so much free stuff out of that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, same experience with being like, what? These guys are from our town? Like, I actually knew, so because Steve was at OLPH the same time I was for like, a year,
yeah,
he was a couple years ahead of me, but like I had seen him around, so I knew who he was. And I saw I think it was an interview. No, it wasn't them. Shit, man. How did I think there was a picture in an ad for Reservoir Records for the 7-inch or something. No, where did I fucking see Steve? I think there was a picture at some point where I saw Steve. Oh, I guess
probably in the 7-inch.
I don't I don't know. I
remember opening the 7-inch and being like, oh, that's the guy I went to school with.
Yeah.
It's so
you
weird.
remember he was like crazy.
Yeah.
Right? He was like, he would do like, I just remember very specifically him coming back from recess once and like doing like this Vietnam, like crawl on your, just crawling on his stomach across the floor to be like ducked under the windows as you passed by the early grades wing so that nobody could see him. And I was like, oh, this guy is fucking wild. This is something. But yeah, and then he was in this band and I was like, what? This dude's in a band?
Yeah.
They're from Lindenhurst? And like people know who that is. What the fuck? This is amazing. And then the rest
mind blowing for sure.
History. One of the big influences for sure. We definitely played Recognize in my basement at every practice, party, show, everything ever. This one, on the other hand, I couldn't play this if you asked me to. It's definitely more complex and there's a little more going on.
Well, that's the One Silent Majority song. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, one of the more famous riffs and songs.
I mean,
on the whole thing.
This was a mind blower.
This is like 10 songs in one. First of all, there's like
Dude,
fucking 10 different songs.
Jane cups are, but they're perfect.
They all make sense for some odd reason.
Make so
they
much
really
sense.
do, and it's just. I can remember Sean Dillon just singing along to this in your room, Vito, many a time. The first time I heard this comp was most likely during that time, and it was just such a fun thing to, just clown on and but still, enjoy it,
I can't even imagine clowning on this. This is brilliant.
We're talking about
what have you learned? Change on what have you learned? And then the seeing red. I mean, god damn, this is brilliant to me. This is and being a big Life of Agony head, you know, the vocals on this.
Of course, we're talking about Someone's Eyes, SOE.
Wyandanch's own.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
First song is called Day It Stood Still.
I don't believe it. These days have gone. I don't believe it. These days have gone. I don't believe it. He said that these days would burn. How long inside must I hold on to what I feel? Everyone look, I know what went down. How long inside must I burn, bleed, burn all that we wanted? How long inside must I hold on to what I feel? Everyone look, I know what went down. How long inside must I? What went on? What went on?
Yeah, definitely Life of Agony worship, but
Yeah, but like not as over the top, which almost kind of dials it in and makes it feel even more like palatable a little bit. Like I love LOA,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like one of the most important things I've ever heard in my life. But this is dope.
This is its
This
own
is
thing.
so good. This
There's
is its own
definitely-
thing. It's definitely it's not like copying from that at all. I don't think it's just like another guy that kind of sings in a heavy band.
Fantastic
way
voice.
ahead of its time.
Yeah, super talented. Super
And
super
like
talented.
he's got bars too. He raps near the end of this.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah, he's like yeah,
That's
like,
the thing. His voice, the clarity of his voice, the sound, the delivery.
Yeah, it's like totally pro.
His pitch is dead on. His tempo and rhythm is incredible. He, like you said, he starts rapping and he's so good. I actually saw this guy after they broke up. They were practicing at what is now. Oh man, is this where you guys play? Yeah, Split Decision.
Mhm.
Back in the day, Split Decision. We were in one room and they were in another, and it was him and some other people, and they were starting a band that was a little more rock, but like it was so like it's where he belongs. It's such a good singer.
Yeah.
Like this guy belongs famous. He's so good. He's so good.
And Joe, you were almost in this band for a minute.
Fun fact, yeah,
Oh, wow.
they were
Yeah.
going to reunite a couple of years ago, and through my very good buddy Ivan Gonzalez from Too Many
Yeah.
Voices, shout out to Ivan, he linked me up with them, and we were going to start playing, and it just didn't really come to fruition. You know, I got busy, they got busy, but I thought it was really cool to be approached like that. I was like, wait, the guys from the 516 comp? Like, you know, it was like
Yeah.
some full circle shit to be like, you know, some young kid and then, you know, get asked to do something like that. And I mean, shit, if these guys are still out there and want to do something, I'd be all about it, you know?
Yo, take me in.
All right, track
Yeah.
number 2.
Also, dude's name is Tor. His
It is
name
Tor.
is Tor. That is so hard.
My girlfriend works with a guy named Tor. Funny enough, his last name is her first name.
Huh.
Crazy, right?
Track number 2.
Place, man.
Briefcase.
Well, I just want what's rightfully mine. I'm looking for the big day tonight. You see that clock on the wall and read 5 and tell me where it is and what, and I'll spare your life. So I lie, but I'm game, and I'm hoping to find you. Hoping to find you, hoping to find you, hoping to find you once again. Well, I got all the information from me tonight. I'm on the mission to the border and let all die.
Yeah, as you were saying, definitely one of the better productions as well.
Yeah, I mean,
But I think that's just by virtue of them being really good musicians and just being tight as hell.
Yeah,
you know?
sometimes it's not
Knowing
production,
what
it's
they're doing.
performance, you know, like
Might not have been their first time recording.
Yeah.
You know?
probably not.
maybe not. I think, you know, even to take it even further and get them into a studio with, you know, professional. I mean, this would have been on fucking MTV with POD or any of that stuff that kind of happened. Like this is, and it's better than them. This is better than that. This is so good.
Yeah.
Band rules.
Vito will know what I'm talking about, but the vocals remind me of the guy from Shooty's Groove.
Interesting.
Okay. I know what that is.
Yeah.
I'll take it. But yeah, if anybody has more recordings by SOE, please send it to everyone.
I know there was.
I'm gonna hit
more.
up Ivan because he hangs out with those guys, you know.
Yeah, please. Everyone I know is from Lindenhurst at Gmail. Send me some tracks. I love this band.
Done. We'll come play in your basement. I'll play drums for them.
Perfect. All right, next up, another band I always skipped, but upon second listen, not as bad as I thought. Splinterface. First song is Amends.
In my life, I can't decide wrong from right. I took a life inside me, a battle line. Day by day, I climb and die. No one here to hear my cry. No one here to sympathize. Confine me to myself, to make me pay. I fade away. Inside me a battle line. Day by day I climb and die. No one here to hear my cries. No one here to sympathize.
The guitars sound like two crate amps faced next to each other.
Yeah,
just blaring. Like
They're not in tune.
Do you remember the famous James McAuliffe joke? Are you guys sponsored by Crate?
These guys are definitely sponsored by Crate.
These guys were definitely sponsored by Crate. It's just very muddy.
Why? Because you guys sound like shit. Yeah.
I definitely remember the name Splinterface constantly being in Under the Volcano.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah, they were in every issue, whether it be like a mention in one of the columns or I think they advertised a lot in there or whatever.
Yeah, that's all I really know about them. Yeah.
Yeah, I never came across them, you know, at any shows that I went to. They weren't.
Yeah, I really don't know much of them.
I don't know. But this was my one experience with them, really, outside of seeing their name.
All right, track 2, Mind Slave. Going off on that reverb on the snare.
A lot of reverb.
Mine's
A lot of reverb. Kind of just makes me think about CBGBs, but like not on a weekend.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Crapshoot shows where
it's that like that. It just reminds me of that like '90s New York City heavy rock scene kind of thing going on. That like
Prong or
not even Prong, but like, you know, bands that their flyers would be in like other music end generation, and like, they'd be playing at CB's with like maybe some sort of a
Unsane.
Yeah, or somebody that was like, some kind of upshoot getting on a label, like they were trying to Concrete Corner was pushing, that's just what it makes me think about.
Completely off topic, but based on band names that you've seen places, have any of you ever heard Borgo Pass or Laguna Ruin?
Yeah, I've played with Borgo Pass quite a few times back in the day.
Two bands whose stickers have haunted me in rehearsal spaces since the late 90s.
Wicked Mariah, Bullets for Breakfast.
I went down a rabbit hole looking up all those bands recently.
Laguna Ruin was a huge one.
I was sending Hugo stuff. Yeah,
you were. Yeah. You were. I think that's why Wicked Mariah is still in my head.
Yeah.
But was the cook from the Roxy in Wicked Mariah, or did he just wear the hat? I don't know.
They had food at the Roxy?
Yeah, they definitely did.
Oh no.
Yeah, I almost threw a fucking whole thing of French fries at Pete Steele by mistake. He was walking by as I dropped them, and they kind of flipped out of my hands and almost hit him. And I'm so glad they didn't, because that was one of the scariest shows of my life. Somebody got their head destroyed. A toilet bowl tank cover got broken over someone's head.
I believe you mentioned that on
we talked about it
last time on the podcast.
You guys just bring me back, You just bring me back to the old days. Bringing it back about being 14. Being scared of fucking crazy people. Yeah.
Speaking of possibly crazy people.
Oh boy.
Next up, Sub DK.
Okay.
Oh.
Actually, I know nothing about this band.
That means under Donkey Kong, right?
Right.
Sub DK had probably the most prolific stickers of all time.
A lot of stickers.
Those stickers were fucking everywhere. I remember seeing them at the Medford VFW. I think I had the demo. They were around for a good while. They were definitely like a band that stuck around and did it and played a lot of shows. But definitely the stickers were everywhere and pretty memorable. I don't know what the hell the name is a reference to or what it means, but definitely saw it and went, "What is this? What's this? What's going on? What's Sub DK?"
UK Subs and Dead Kennedys.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would think of.
Sounds nothing like either.
No, 100% no.
First song, let's check it out. Hardcore Underground. Yeah, huge guitars on this one. Very shreddy.
Yeah, fairly produced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vocals are kind of weak.
Yeah, not my favorite.
Yeah.
Kind of ogre-y and all the wrong ways, but it is what it is. It was the 90s. They were doing their thing. They were definitely, I definitely remember them being around and not a band that kind of got sucked into the PWAC scene like Tension and even Outrage a little bit did when this thing came out. They kind of were always had their own thing going on out east, their own world that they were, their own shows, whatever. So,
okay.
Respect.
Kept it real. Kept it hyper local.
100%. Respect for that.
All right. Second song, Burnt Freedom. kind of more of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, very one-dimensional. Not really much going on.
Decent guitarist. Okay, band.
Yeah, for sure. They can all play. You know, it's probably fun live.
Yeah.
You know, especially for their you know, like you said, they kind of had their own. I feel like they had like a little bit of their own, you know, their own shows, their own kind of scene going on. So it was probably a good time.
And the sticker game was strong.
Sticker game was flawless. And they had the same logo as UK subs.
Yeah,
It was that same font, no? The
Stencil font. Yeah.
stencil. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, a band you were a part of, Hugo.
Okay.
Tension.
Yes. Long before my time, but yes, 100%.
And this is one of the best Tension songs, in my opinion.
I feel like
this
is the best. This is the
Fuck
song.
yeah.
I feel like we always closed with this.
Really
This was the song.
Always in my fucking case, I was working on beer. Never giving me a chance, just a bit, but I don't care. Never tried to help me after me, it doesn't run. Never been giving me that I took the stars in my ass. And they one day I don't want to give me over you. Got the flow of the up on myself, all alone. Never bring it to the future, stand in my way. No matter if I'm running, we'll get to double the same. Lost within myself, lost trusting you. I'm fast over with disgust, so I'll see you in the bitter end. Nothing but a big new legend, moved on the jump. Watch her roll up back. I thought I knew, but now I know. New legend, true color show. I thought I knew, but now I know.
Awesome.
Yeah, super tight.
And if you want to send Tension a fax, you can do so at
I was about to say, one of the very few bands on here with a fax option
937-2.
on the liner notes.
Mhm.
I was going to point that out too. It's funny you said that, John. So,
Wow.
but yeah, now they always brought it hard. I mean, Tension were some of my first shows, and it was always just like, okay, cool. There's this really awesome element of danger to this, but like we're cool with these guys too. So it almost makes us feel like protected, yet still appreciative that these people are like on our side. But it was always just like this in your face, like, you know, it's right up in there. That, and they always brought the hottest girls to the shows.
Facts.
Hey,
To go back to what I was saying there a minute ago, Tension really, from this comp, after this thing came out, they became part, like it kind of united two very disparate scenes. Like there was the PWAC scene, Wreckage, Exit, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then there was like the Tension, Outrage, Out East, you know, Justice Unknown, a bunch of those other bands, kind of their own thing, kind of their own shows. You know, Hate Breed was playing those shows. I definitely went to, you know, a bunch of those Medford VFW shows, and I felt like I was going to two different scenes at that point. And then this comp came out, and then all of a sudden Tension's playing shows at the PWAC like every month, and you know, those people are starting to get it, you know, and then Deja happened, and it was all just like one kind of, you know, everybody kind of in one place. So interesting to note that this comp really did that and brought a lot of people from two pretty different scenes into just one space.
yeah, if you're just looking at the addresses of the bands, most of them, it does seem like are from kind of east of Lindenhurst, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
With the exception of Lindenhurst appearing twice in addresses, I think Middle Island is probably the next one that has the most bands in there, or Mastic even.
Yeah.
It makes sense the label was out east. Yeah.
Right.
Second song, Waste of Time.
just as though I'm mine. If I couldn't, then why should I leave it all behind? Scar left in my heart, the master scar left in my mind. Still I keep on searching, but the word I'll never find. Life is how you make it, well that's a fucking lie. Sick of trying to fake it, sick of trying to try. Tried to show me love, but you were only in my way. The truth that's in my mind, made up with nothing left to say. The president feel like I turn on bricks. I keep on searching for another fix.
Yeah, I know it's been mentioned before, but Joe is definitely the star of the show musically in this band.
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
He's playing chords and stuff. It's like so cool.
Yeah. No, Joe is
Filling a lot of space.
Joe is the Beck. Joe is the Beck for tension. I mean,
Yeah.
he writes pretty much everything. Or at this point he did. Later on, I don't know if it was always a thing or whatever, but I know for a long time he wrote a lot of the lyrics and most of the music. He's he's a well-rounded guy. He plays guitar, he plays bass. He writes
Cuts hair.
and he's fucking he cuts hair. Definitely some fucking chords going on there.
Yeah.
A bass, some heavy. Joe can fucking play, man. And he doesn't play like anybody else.
No.
He doesn't play
Very distinct. Yeah.
He doesn't play bass like a bass player, but he doesn't play bass like a guitar player. Like, you know how like playing bass like a guitar player is like a put down. He doesn't do that, but he doesn't play like a bass player either. He's very percussive. He's very I don't know. He's just got his own vibe completely, for sure.
I imagine he's self-taught.
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea, to tell you the truth. I mean,
Usually someone who has their own style,
I would kind of
get from someone else.
Yeah, probably. But definitely the star of the show there. Sure.
All right, we're at the home stretch now. This next band is like the dark horse of the whole thing for me.
That's what I said, man. These guys are the underdogs of the comp for sure.
Revisiting this comp, especially this first song. This song fucking rules.
Awesome. The guy's such a great singer.
And back to something I said earlier, the singer of this band, Erwin Mata, now sings for Reach.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Its first song is called Dejected.
I feel so dejected, haven't got a clue what's inside of you. Here without a sound, watch me turn it around, watch me just turn it all around. Give that back, give that back, give that back, give that back. Watch me just turn it all around. I've been so dejected, it's alright with me. Have to fight to get where I am. Why don't you just let me be? Watch me just turn it all around. Give it back, give it back, give it back, give it back. Watch me just turn it all around. I've been so dejected, bring so chunky. Have to fight to get where I am.
Yeah, definitely a standout track. This reminds me of like Reagan Youth or The Mob, like just an old school kind of early 80s type of vibe.
Vocals actually remind me of Carrie from The Great Lie. It's got a really reminiscent sound, very tight,
I hear that.
punk, but very aggressive.
And this is like the only old school sounding song on this whole thing.
I was going to say, it's sonically different than everything else so far.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying in the playing and the writing, but the recording with the reverb and everything feels a little more 90s.
It does, yeah.
Mhm.
Like they wouldn't have put that on a Reagan Youth record.
It has a little bit more of a polished sound to it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's cool. It's different. Does anybody know anything about this band otherwise?
Nothing. Not a clue. Yeah.
I don't remember seeing them on any flyers or anything, or shows or anything. I don't know.
Where were they from?
No funk bassist or fax machine.
No funk, no facts.
Well, another interesting thing in the liner notes here, they were managed by Rush Management.
That's like what's his
Russell
fucking
Simmons.
name? Yeah, and Leor, whatever his name is, right? The other guy, the Jewish guy that was with them.
Leor Cohen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They were rolling with Rush Management, 3008.
Wow.
But can't find a goddamn thing on the internet about them at all.
See, that's the thing. I feel like that's what used to happen in the 90s when there was like that kind of shit where it was like these bands would kind of pop up and nowhere and play like CMJ or like these industry showcases and be like, you know, somehow courted by major labels before they even fucking were doing anything in a smaller scene.
Yeah, but then it doesn't work out.
Feel
You
like
never hear from them again, and you never see them. And, it's like
probably because a manager just wanted to be like, I got a roster of fucking 50 bands. You wanted this band? You want this flavor band?
Yeah. Interesting.
All right. Track number 2, Never Used to Be.
That is your theme. You never face up. You always leave the truth unsaid. What's left to make up? What's left to be? All sorrow, no regret. Silence just takes you up. Leave it all and hide. Silence just takes you up. Leave you high and dry, my friend. Time to make a choice. Watching your life through your rose-lit window, always waiting when it's my turn. Hide behind, you know tomorrow, no thought or concern. Flush the guilt deep inside.
Yeah, so this is definitely more like what
No.
Leach was doing.
This drummer is fucking dope.
Yeah,
This drummer
Yeah.
is killing it.
super tight band.
Yeah.
And I can tell why this guy got hired for Reach
Yeah.
after
Yeah,
this.
Totally.
But yeah, definitely one of the surprises, like revisiting this whole thing, was this band, because I always skipped them over back in the day.
Yeah, I wonder if there's more out there.
There has to be, right? If anyone in 3008 is
Also think
listening,
I think it's funny that the first word is a number, but it's a word, and then it's the numerical numbers after it. It's not the number 38. It's the word 30 and then the number 08.
So 90.
Whatever.
Okay.
90s industry move.
Thank you for attending my TED Talk.
yeah, but they have like Converge artwork.
Right. It reminds me of that, like there's a Lifetime shirt or a poster that was in your studio that I'm thinking of that looks exactly like that, with that kind of image and that kind of typeface above it.
Yeah, a lot to take in here.
And last but certainly not least, straying from the alphabet.
Yeah.
Definitely not recorded at ARTI because this was posthumous.
Completely, yeah.
That's the almighty neglect.
Our hometown heroes.
Also not even unreleased stuff, so like it kind of makes me say why. Other than like brand name recognition and like more people are going to buy this thing because there's a neglect track on it, but it's not a neglect track that's not on other things. So,
Right, you might have already had it at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe they had to acknowledge that like 99% of the bands were influenced by neglect on this thing.
Possibly, yeah, I don't know.
You know,
True.
had to give them their flowers, as the kids say.
Do they say that? I don't know what that is.
First song, Mind Games.
Some sort of a botany joke?
Mind games.
Hating and abetting on no criminal mind. Drag myself through
I like how that laugh is panned hard left.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the laugh is definitely the best part.
Whoever recorded that must have had so much fun with that shit. Him just go, or mind games, bitch.
Yeah, there's definitely some moments.
I'd love to have his raw vocals.
Like the David Lee Roth
wow.
track,
Yes.
just the
Yes.
outtakes, yeah.
That would be pretty interesting. Definitely interesting stuff.
Life?
Yeah. So it's neglect, what else? What can we say?
Classic neglect.
Shit.
Big
Yeah.
fucking production. Big drum production there. Almost
Yeah, drums sound huge.
I'm kind of like, yeah, man, LaFada definitely was in Mind Over Matter too. Like I'm hearing like auto manipulation, crazy echoey drums and weird shit going on. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, a lot of EQ.
Really-
And less of the nursery rhymey scheme on these vocals. It's not so much your yada 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 yada
Yeah,
yada
this is-
yada 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 yada.
This is a little
you
bit
know?
of a different neglect track for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But don't worry, it'll get back to the tried and true on the next
I
one.
mean, Good for Nothing is by far my favorite neglect track ever.
Yeah.
Here it is. Good for Nothing.
Alter my brain, bullet in the brain. Walking low with the gun to wall of chain. Pain, straight completely contained. Give me your worst and I'll leave you maimed. Kids receive, everybody bleeds. Blessed greed, and you beneath the lies of men. Straight to your head, they want you to live when you wanna be dead. Every human for themselves in a world that's based on greed. They don't realize the life they create is the pain that they breed. Anger inside, the pain will go away. Try to leave it behind. Come back every day. Pushes and pulls me around in my head. My body is dying, time to be dead.
That fucking ride, man, that LaFada ride sound. Oh my god, so good. So
Yeah.
good. So beautiful.
It is a great contrast between like the major progression and his vocal over it.
Right?
you know?
That riff
Yeah.
with the major progression blows my mind. I'm like, what are you gonna fucking like bust out like saxophones and shit? What's about to happen? What is this?
Right.
Somebody's getting all happy. What is this?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that fucking shit. That song.
One of the best neglect songs for sure. Fantastic drum parts. I love how he's on the hi-hat in the beginning, and then like once it busts into the verse, he goes to the ride just to open it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really hits like when they go into that next part and he's on the hi-hat and it's like moshier. It just like really, it just flows perfectly.
Yeah.
It's also following like the vocal pattern a little, or the guitar pattern a little bit, really kind of playing off of that, especially with like, open chokes and stuff.
Yeah, really cool. Super
I
unique.
think that's my track. That's for me. That I mean, I love the demo and the all that stuff. They have the raw stuff, but this it's super produced. But it's like it's cool, man. It's got those Mind Over Matter drums. It's got a lot of echoiness. It's got a lot of space. He's making a lot of space.
Is this Don Fury?
I think so.
Sounds like it.
I think it is. Yeah. Did he do? No, Martin Busy did auto manipulation, right?
Yeah.
But I think this is Don Fury. It's
Awesome.
sick. It's sick. This is my jam. Love this song.
Shout out to LaFada.
I like it better being with a gun. Come on. This is great. This is just brilliant. He is rhyming a lot, but like I'm with it. I'm for it. I'm with it. I like it. Keep it coming.
Oh,
But that's it. That's all we got.
what a ride.
Wow.
Wow.
That's it. It's the 516 comp.
That was a shit ton.
So where did everybody purchase their copies from?
I don't know where I got my first copy. This copy I have right now, I got at Sit and Spin in Philly a couple years ago.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And how much did that run you there?
Secondhand store.
Not much. It was probably only $10, which
I remember that spot.
yeah.
If you want, you could resell it.
I
on
used the
eBay.
coupon to get mine from Looney Tunes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, for a hundo.
Whoa. Yeah, I think I got mine at Looney Tunes myself.
Well, thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks
So-
for having us. This was a shit ton of fun.
Yeah, before we split, just to remind everybody where they can find your businesses online. Start with Hugo.
Sure. NautilusRoasting.com or Nautilus_roasting on the gram is my coffee thing. And then we're at Babylon and Sayville Farmers Markets, and then wherever else we pop up whenever we can. And then Perks Department. Is it the Perks Department on Instagram? I don't even fucking know. Just look up.
But you can find it. Look it up through the Nautilus one, because you'll find it there.
Type in Perks on Instagram. If you're listening to this, then you're in the same algorithm, and it'll find you.
We'll put the links in everything. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's where me and my lady friend do like events and stuff, and we do a bunch of like art markets and cool weird curated stuff, and the goth prom and et cetera, punk flea, all that stuff. We're gonna be back. It's not announced yet, so that's all I'm gonna say. But we're coming back.
Be dropping for some time.
Yeah, this is gonna be season 2, so it might be after that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, hey, very good.
Okay, Joe.
You could check out my food and my catering over at Firewater Food and Provisions at Instagram. We do a series of pop-up kitchens, ghost style restaurants, private parties, things like that. A lot of cool stuff. Shoot us an email or check us out on the gram, as they say.
Right on.
And you can catch Joe's band Olby, who just released a demo not that long ago, right?
Also,
and of course, Hugo and Take My Chances, who just dropped a record recently as well.
Yes,
yeah.
We hoping to get back in the studio real soon and start working on something a little longer. Our 4-song EP that set 18 years or so to come out.
Better late than never.
It's less than 4 minutes long. We didn't know that until we got the masters back. Like,
whoopsie,
we got it right. Yeah,
I'm actually also playing drums in a new band called Cell with a couple of younger dudes that I really enjoy. It's kind of like an indie thing, so keep an ear out for that.
Okay.
All right. Buy, sell.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Long live the bench.